Hey y'all! So today I come to you from my storage room. There we go, more light. So much better. But I only do that because I have one doing school and then two that are fighting upstairs. So to make it so you can actually hear me, we're going to be down here. But I listened to this Live on Purpose YouTube video last night, which if you've never heard of Live on Purpose, he's a marriage and family therapist who specializes in positivity therapy. And it's really, really cool, some of the things and not the tactics, but like the strategies and stuff that he comes up with. But he actually had a guest on. His name is Dr. Brett Williams, and he specializes in like mindset stuff. And so Dr. Williams talks about the fact that affirmations actually don't work. And so for 2 years now, where I've been like trying to create these affirmations and figuring out like how to apply them into my life and how to actually accept them, because let's be honest, a lot of times we don't accept them. Like, they are what they are, and our mind automatically fights affirmations. In fact, he talks about the fact that because of the fact that we are saying something is true before we actually believe it, our mind is trying to analyze it instead. And we're supposed to change our analysis into what ifs. So we're combining meditation and affirmations and creating a clear narrative for ourselves. So we want the neurons that fire together to wire together. And it's natural to feel a little bit of resistance, but this helps our minds to change. And that resistance happens more with the affirmations. And this way, when we're questioning it, I'll get into how we create these creations instead, or considerations instead of affirmations in just a second. But when we create these considerations, we're breaking it down for our minds to be able to absorb it better and to accept it more. And I think that's such a beautiful concept, because more often than not, our minds are going to fight ourselves. Like, past has proven that this affirmation is false, you know? And so when we start off with these creation or considerations, we're going to start off with a, what if I did believe it? Okay? We're going to come at this process from a, what if I did believe this? So on day one, you're going to say, what if? Positive affirmation of this would be, I am enough, right? So you say, I am enough over and over again, but you just don't believe it. And then instead of having an affirmation, you make a consideration. So what if I am enough? What if what I'm doing is enough, you know? So you consider that for day one. What if I'm enough? And then day two, you would say, what would it look like if I'm enough? What would I see in my life? What is it very different from where I live now, or from how I live now, or is it basically the same thing? How would that look like? What would that look like? And then on day three, you're going to ask, what would it feel like? So this is where a lot of that what if I did believe it mindset would come in, because now you're going to ask, what would I feel like if I am enough? What would my life feel like? Would I be happier? Would I, not yell as much? Would I be more willing to serve? What if I am enough? What would that feel like? And then on day four, you're going to ask yourself, what if I was enough? Okay, we're going to fill in the blank there. What if I was enough? What would it be like? And then you would ask, like, what would I do? Where would I go? What would I change? And you would start acting then. How would you show up if you were enough, essentially, okay? How would you show up? And that physical change to that manifestation, that physical manifestation, would actually create the actual change that affirmations strive to achieve. And so when you create a consideration instead of an affirmation, you're considering a physical change, or you're creating a physical change. Sorry, there's a lot of C words in this. But you're creating this physical change in your body, and your mind isn't fighting itself the whole time. Whereas when we have affirmations, our minds are fighting itself the whole time. We're like, Well, no, I'm not. I mean, we've proved it over and over again, you know, and you quit after time and time again. And so you always prove yourself correct, and your mind is going to fight that affirmation. Whereas when you create that consideration, you are going to create that world and that atmosphere, the feeling, the thoughts, the actions, everything's going to play together. It's going to come together, and it's going to create what you want. It's going to create the outcome desired instead of those affirmations where your mind's going to fight it. And so I want to challenge you guys to do this. I'm going to start it today. I'm going to create considerations. I'm going to start with one consideration. So there's 4 days, and I feel like each week I should try a new consideration. I'm going to challenge you guys to try that with me, because I think that trying a consideration instead of affirmations is so much more worth it. And people who can do affirmations, who can visualize this all in one day, all power to you. But 99% of the people will need to have a consideration instead of an affirmation, because more often than not, we don't believe ourselves when we are telling ourselves and selling ourselves these affirmations. So to believe we're more, to believe we want to make a difference, to believe this change, we have to make a consideration so our minds will accept it. So join with me. Let me know what you do, how you're different, or if you've tried this before, or if you've tried a variation of this, and how it's gone for you. I hope you guys have a great Monday, and that things aren't nearly as crazy for you as they are for me, and that your kids aren't trying to kill each other. Have fun!